Fix on Me. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Fix on Me podcast, the podcast where men get to be vulnerable and get to share the importance of being vulnerable. My guest today is my man, my bro. Ro, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Man, I hope you've been good. I know you recently got married.
Yes.
How's that been?
Man, married life is the best life. I will definitely
bet.
say that. No, it's just on so many ways, and it's deeper than just like I was listening to something the other day, and it's like it's deeper than just like having legal, legitimate sex. Like
Yeah.
it's deeper than that. Like
No, it is.
God has chosen a person for you to literally become one with. Like, and that's just like seeing it, the communication, the intimacy of it. Like, it's really dope. And it's just like I got a personal assistant. I got a organizer. She's got a security service. We just everything to each other at the same time.
Security
it
service.
just works out. It just works out.
No, that's great, man. But I appreciate you being on here with me. I don't know if you know, but this is the first episode to this podcast.
Wow, first of many.
First of many. Yes. First of many. You were my first guest on here, and I was like, I gotta have Ro. You were in my heart to put you on here. So, because I've been through a whole journey of vulnerability, especially for the past 3 years, and I felt like it's been a lot of healing. There's one thing to be vulnerable with my spouse. Like she gets to see that side of me naturally, organically, you know what I mean? But when it comes to being around other men, I feel like men struggle
For sure.
doing that.
Yeah.
So what is, like, if you have some experiences yourself, like what can you share on that?
Man, I think it's one thing just to be vulnerable enough to say that it's been hard to be vulnerable in front of men. Like we are taught from an early age, like we're meant to show this tough, unbreakable, like we don't cry, we don't show our scars. And it's like, so now we're presenting to look like heroes in front of so many people, but we've got the same feeling of feeling defenseless.
Yeah.
When we're alone amongst ourselves. And so I think like just having a moment like this to just say like, no, there's been times where I'm like, dude, I don't know if I've got it. I don't know if I've got it figured out. And I've got people, not just as a husband, but also as a leader. I got people looking to me for answers that I don't have.
Right.
And so I've got to somehow gather myself to still feel like I don't want to let people down, but also be vulnerable enough to say like, this is probably the extent of my knowledge or my capacity in this area. And just finding a brother to say, yo, I feel that way too.
Yeah.
It's such a like blessing. Like,
it is a blessing.
It's a blessing.
And I think people miss that, especially guys that miss that out. Like community has been very important. I've been building a community of, fellow men, think the same. Some of them, they're not as vulnerable as others are in the group, but we have been growing to that level, and just being able to find those men that you can relate with, it's a blessing. Because there's some things you can't say to the spouses.
You cannot. Because if I broke down and said like, yo, I don't know how we gonna get through this month, like with everything that's going on. She's gonna look at me like, well, you are the husband. You are the head of this household. You are here to cultivate and protect and provide. And so, and it's not that there's this expectation of having to perform. It's just, you just don't want to let your spouse down.
No,
right?
exactly.
But to be around a man that says, man, I don't know how we got through June. I don't know how we got through May. But being able to be around a group of people to say, no, it's okay to not know. That's what trusting God looks like.
Yeah.
But if you don't create an atmosphere or a community where people feel safe to say, I don't know. When growing up as a kid, I never was willing to say, I don't know. I would either go research it or I'm going to fake my way till I make it. I'm going to say something till it sounds
fake your way till you make it is something that has to be changed. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But no, dude, like that, I realizing like that caused something in me. I never wanted to be wrong. And being not wanting to be wrong was because of shame. I didn't want people to put faith in me or put hope in me and I let them down.
Yeah.
But that started to creep in relationships. That started to creep in why I wouldn't want to be around other men, because I'm like, hearing a man be vulnerable back then was like, oh man, you just sold yourself to the wolves. You a punk, dude. You just lost the war.
Yeah.
And now growing up, the strongest thing I've ever done is admit that I'm weak.
Yeah.
That's the realest thing that has ever happened. So for sure, like
community. No, I agree, because it's been some times with me for sure, and I can definitely relate to that, where at times there were moments I was trying to be vulnerable in front of men and I would get judged for it. But now it's very different. Now I don't care. Like whether you look at me or not, if I feel like if that moment I have to shed a tear, I'm gonna shed a tear.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's healing for myself.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. That vulnerability becomes more of a healing for you, not for the other person, not for the person, but it helps build brotherhood.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Me and you have grown together.
Yes.
We Call of Duty bros. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And
Yes.
we talked about stuff on there. We hop on calls and talked about things. And I feel like our bond has got stronger and stronger as we become more vulnerable with each other. 100%. You know what I'm saying? I know you and wifey are going through some things. Y'all doing a lot better now.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for y'all for that. For sure. Yeah.
No, definitely. No, man. I think these are one of the most trying times as a man. Like when you're going through fast transition, like it's happening faster than you can like prepare for it. The first thing that we want to do is appear like everything is good. We want to appear like everything, we have the answers, we've got our plan B, but I'm telling you, like, trusting God and then also trusting the brothers that are in your circle. I don't think I make it out of the season that I made it out if I didn't have real brothers.
Yeah.
And you got to know who's a real brother or not.
Not everybody's a real brother.
You've got to know, because, and it's no shame or shade towards those people, but some people are not built for fire.
Yeah.
And so if you try to walk them through fiery trials, you will be disappointed when you should have taken the initiative to evaluate, is this person fireproof? Is what we're building fireproof? Is where we're going as a brotherhood and as a relationship, is it fireproof? So you have to learn that. And so I don't know if I make it through this season and the transitions and the pain and the hurt and the disappointments if I didn't have true brothers in this season.
That's good, man.
Yeah,
no, that's good. You are definitely in a better headspace.
For sure. Sure. Yeah. But it took because, the Bible talks about even like iron and sharpening iron.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about iron sharpening iron is when I'm put towards heated situations, I got two choices. I will either sharpen or I will shatter. Yeah. And so being around brothers that was like, okay, I know you feel like you're breaking apart. I'm only going to shave off the parts that's not supposed to be.
Right.
I'm going to shave off I'm not good enough, or I don't know who I am. And I'm going to shave that part off you because that's not you. But I'm going to sharpen things that are you. We're going to start talking about how you going to bounce back from this. You need a brother like that. Like the Bible even talks about, like, a brother is built for adversity. Yeah. I don't know if I make it through these wars within myself without having somebody in my corner saying, hey, shake this round off. You were knocked down. It hurt. Acknowledge it. But I need you to bounce back from this. The fight's not over. You got a chance to come back from this. So if I didn't have like brothers like you and just some of the brothers that I have in my life, like Brunis and so many others in my corner when I got knocked down to say, hey, you here? Okay, bounce back from this. This is how we adjust. This is how we get up from here. You cannot stay on the ground. Like, I wouldn't have made it, dude. And that's just real life truth.
Man, that's really good, dude. You just making me realize something that, because I mean, I have a brother. He's a half brother of mine, but we didn't grow up together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But having that brother connection, I never really had it growing up. Yeah. So in this community of friends that I made, I have connected with brothers like that. Sure. So just to hear that part when you said, they're like, they have your back. Yeah. That's so true. It's real. There's so many times that I've gotten in conversations with, I would say Be Free, and then even Darnell, who lives not too far from where we live. Yeah. But that it's been like tough conversations, but they'll say stuff and then it has like some type of conviction that's on myself that I'm like, oh, okay. I thought it was me, but really, it's something. It's not me. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like I'm learning from this experience just from talking through with them. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, you are a blessing.
Bro,
you know
I'm
that?
honored, dude.
You are a blessing. I'm blessed to know you.
Man,
I'm blessed to be a side by side by you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And see what I'm saying? This is what I mean. Like I get.
You good, bro. Listen, you're killing it, man. Like, you're killing it. Keep going.
Still new on this, guys.
No, dude, listen, be you. I think that's should be the number one thing you take away from your first time. Like, be you. Like,
Yeah.
there is like when the Bible talks about like we were fearfully and wonderfully made. Like God was so intentional, like almost to where he wanted to make sure he didn't make the mistake of not giving you imperfections, but making sure everything about you is you and not anybody else. So anytime that we feel like we've got to be, somebody else, do, it's almost like a disservice to the time God spent in making you. So just
Yeah.
be like, whether I know it or not, whether I got it or not, like
Yeah.
I'm here. We gonna rock out together. Like,
Yeah,
know
that's
you're
true.
not by yourself. And it's something you said even just about like brothers, not even have to be related. Like I got so many siblings, I don't even know where all of them are. Some of them, you know what I mean? Like I didn't grow up with all of them. I only grew
Yeah.
up with women in my whole life. I have brothers, but I never grew up with them. I only met some of them growing up later on in life, and one lives here that I never met. He's actually involved in like gang lifestyle, and so it's like I never got a chance to even meet him.
Wow.
And so I'm like still like actively searching in the city for this dude to this day.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
he's out
like
here, you said?
he's here. He's
Wow,
here.
that's
And
cool.
I'm like, how did I'm like, it's like a side quest of my life. Like, wow, I'm
Side
like, Lord,
quest.
I gotta find this dude. Like, I met him on MySpace in 2007 or 6 or something like
Yeah.
that. And when he showed me a picture of he looked just like me and my dad, and I was like, I couldn't turn away. Like, this is my actual brother. Like,
And he's older than you, or
yeah,
he's
he's
young?
older. He's like one of the first kids. Like my
Oh,
dad got a lot of
wow.
kids, and it's like a lot of them we haven't really built relationship. But I feel like even things like this podcast, you don't even realize like who could it reach at some certain point that has
Right.
a
Right.
strange brotherhood and a strange like they may see someone that your brother you didn't grow up with may see this and be like, whoa,
Yeah.
like how did God align it to where I'm looking on my phone and somebody I didn't even know existed or has been missing for like 20 years is here? And not only that, but he's also speaking words that is drawing me back to a fold. Like you just never know how powerful this podcast is. So really like lean into it and just really just be you, bro.
No, I appreciate that, man, because that's how it's been. This journey with this podcast has not been easy. I've been learning so many different things, and to be able to do it with my brothers, that's been crazy. I got you on here. I can go list. I have Be Free as one of the episodes too. D Trey. I'm working on getting past the Ebb.
Yeah.
That's my other brother that I'm need to get on here. I got
That's
Darnell.
the goat,
I can go. Everybody that God highlighted to me, I reached out and everybody said yes.
Yeah.
And the conversation's just been good over over the conversations over that we're gonna have are gonna be good regarding those. But all right, to keep going, my bad.
No, we good. There's something about having a man who feels what you feel or knows what you know.
Yeah.
Like, and to be honest, vulnerability is important because as a man, like we go through life and we get wounded and we deal with these wounds, but our number one like go-to response and course of action is to conceal it.
Yeah.
But we don't realize how much it infects us later on. So now we can't even talk to the spouse. We can't even think straight at home. We go to sleep, but we're actually not getting rest. We're actually just going to sleep physically. We wake up with the same frustration as last night is because we're good at concealing the wounds. But being around a brother, one of the things I used to love seeing in like war stories and war movies, like after the war was over, they would share their wounds together so that the other person could help him heal. Because it's like we can't even go to the next battle if you concealing that you were hurt. And I think that's why one of my number one favorite movies is 300. Because I used to just watch that, like
movie.
just how much after the war they would just spend time together. That's what it is to be vulnerable with each other. It's like, yo, man, I just lost my job. Like, and as a man, a lot of us, I know I'm speaking for a lot of men, we find our worth in what we do for work.
I was just thinking the same thing right now because that's funny that you mentioned that because that's when I encountered the vulnerability part.
Yeah,
because I was so tied to what I was doing that when it got removed at one point, I broke down and I was just like, "Yo, what else can I do?"
Because it's in us, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine what Adam felt like when he lost his job. looking after Eden. This was his job. God gave him all of this. You are supervisor, co-CEO of all of this. You dropped the ball one time, and it's a bad drop now. Let's not overlook it.
Yeah.
But now he is literally removed out of his position. And so I think like we got to read that and really look like, no, this was who this was a part of him. And so when we lose our job or we lose opportunities that were dear to us, this is a part of who I am. That's where a man goes, because it's in us to work. It's in us not to just have a job, but when you are working, when you literally feel the presence of God, when you do what it is you're doing, and to be removed from that, whether it's your choice or your mistake or not, a piece of you is lost.
Yeah.
And so you go through that season of like, where am I? Who am I?
Yeah. Of healing from that thing that you thought was part of your identity.
There you go.
Because you're not,
You thought
it was. That's what it is. You think it was, but you're more than just what you do.
There you go.
That's what I've learned. And it was a word from Brenda.
Yeah.
Like I was on the call with her.
Yeah.
And this was when that happened, and I broke down, and I was like really sad, and I was crying on the phone, and then Brenda was like, bro, it's all right. And I'm like, I'm just listening to her. She's like, and then she told me, as people, we define ourselves by what we do. And that, like, when she told me that, like, it's like completely set me free.
For sure. Because
and it was just like, okay, I understand. I'm more than that. You know what I mean?
What we do is not who we are. But it took me a long time to learn that, because growing up in, where I grew up in a very poverty, like very like, if you go watch the movie Boys in the Hood, that was my life. Like that's the area that I grew up in. And so one of the things we used to wanted to always say when we were growing up as kids, like, I never want my family to struggle. So we was out here working at Publix. We was out here, working at retail stores. We was out here washing cars, cutting grass, just to make sure there was money in the house to take care of things. And so to lose a job, like or to even have a job, you think, okay, I got all these things and this is who I am. I am the supervisor of this job. I am a pastor. And then if you lose that job, you think you're no longer that.
Yeah.
These are just job descriptions of who you are. Yeah. So whether you work any place or not, there's a foundational thing that you do that's a part of you that can never be taken away regardless of where you work. And Brenda was right. What you do is not who you are. It's
not what you do.
It's not tied to that. But it takes a long time for a man to unlearn what we've been toxically taught so long, that our worth is based on our net worth.
Yeah.
What do we do for a job? How much do we make a year? What hours do we put in? What accolades have we accomplished? That is the secular presentation of what a man is. It's not what God designed. No, God did not design that. And so when we unlearn those things and actually look at how God really what vulnerability, actually, technically speaking, is probably the thing that separated Adam from God.
Yeah.
When he made a mistake, he went and hid himself. He went and clothed himself. And so my thing is, vulnerability is probably the most powerful weapon God always gave us, to be naked and unashamed and say, hey, this is who I am. Like, take it or leave it. And that's what I'm walking into. Hey, this happened. Cool, whatever. Like, I'm not going to let the thought of pride and shame cause me to conceal myself and be infected later on because of it. So.
Yeah, because when you conceal it, that's when it gets worse. It's funny because I was literally talking to, I think it was my wife regarding that, how when you conceal stuff, that's when you turn to the pornography.
There you go.
That's when you turn to other substances.
Yes.
And other stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to keep it hidden instead of saying like, hey, I can't figure this out. I lost my job and now I'm like, don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, let me turn to this. Yeah. Oh, this is not high for at the moment.
Only the moment.
Only the moment. Only for that season. You know what I mean? But it is when you break from it, it's when you get the true healing. The process that I went through, because I went through a whole process.
Yeah.
During the first couple of years, I used to be very angry. because I was working so much.
Yeah.
I was like tied to my job, and everything I did was regarding my job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I was doing from like 8 a.m. all the way to like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my wife was like, all you do is work.
Yeah.
But that's all I knew to do.
Yeah.
So when they was taking that the time that I was doing, the work I was doing, it hurt me.
Yeah.
But I seek God.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to my wife as well. And then, my wife was like, you should try therapy. So I signed up for therapy. I think it was like 6-7 months journey of therapy that I did. And when I said I did a lot of like self-healing and discovery from that,
Wow.
regarding my pops, regarding how I am able to create my own version of how a man looks, how I should be able to think, how I should be able to father.
Wow. That's beautiful.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I thought I had to have an example of what a dad was. And the whole time I do, because I have God, but I'm able to carve my own way,
That's beautiful.
having my own child and all that. You know
That's
what I mean?
beautiful, dude.
Yeah, that really set me free.
That's beautiful. You get to create your idea of what a man is. That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
Because growing up without a father, like, I felt like I was at a disadvantage. Like,
Yeah.
and people are like, Roosevelt, you so this, you so that. And I'm like, dude, I didn't have any, but outside of God the Father, I didn't have someone to really look up to father me. And I just kept like finding myself like, Lord, why won't anyone father me? And then why are you gifting me with this gift to father other people? You know what I mean? So I'm like, what is that? And just to hear you say, like, I've given you the ability to create what a man is.
Yeah.
Like that's like God giving you the paintbrush and say, what
Yeah.
is it? Like, that's crazy.
Not to stick to the norm of what society thinks a man is.
That's huge.
You know what I'm saying? Because most of the stuff what society thinks is not even a man. I feel like it's a toxic person.
It's toxic, dude. Man, you want me to be G.I. Joe, basically never like made out of titanium Wolverine. Like, it's not real. Like, this dude does not exist. And if he does exist, he is making his wife's life a living hell, if I can say that clearly. Like, he does not exist. And if he does exist, no one wants to be around him because he's constantly looking for who to conquer.
Exactly.
You can't even be in a relationship with this person because he's trying to conquer you. You can't even have a brotherhood with this man because he's constantly like, I'm about to take all your jobs. I'm about to take all your opportunities. If we lived our life like this man who is technically living like an animal, a primal animal, he is constantly looking for you. That kind of
is in the toxic,
It's very toxic. I'm looking for a weak point to get you up out of here, to take everything that you have and leave. I would never want to be around a person like that, but that we don't even realize how sometimes that's the illusion of perspective and opinions, man. Like, if we live by those, we find ourselves, if we actually try to bring into realization what we really think is acceptable and we really look at it, we'll realize how ridiculous it looks. And so I think like vulnerability is like key to all of this. Because, man, like, even just, I wouldn't be able to be married to my wife if it wasn't for me having vulnerable moments.
Yeah. And how many months now? How many months? Hey.
It's only been 2.
Hey, it's all right. No.
But it's only been 2.
It's all right.
But when I say, like, leading up to getting married, like, I truly say this, like, love is I love the movie Beauty and the Beast, which I don't really tell a lot of people. That's a vulnerable moment.
That's a good movie.
It's a great movie, but it's not so much the characters. It's really the story behind it. That Belle had the heart to love a beast.
Yeah.
Like, and inside of that beast was a man.
Yeah.
And it took someone being willing to see past what would cause other folks to run away. To look past. That's what Karina did for me. I'm not gonna get emotional. But I was a beast because of what I was sexually. I was raped at 16. You know what I mean? And I thought that was something to celebrate. When I actually told people like what happens, like being, according to the law, like, this person is above age, and you are a minor. This is rape.
Yeah.
And so when I shared my story, like, my uncles was like, what you complaining for? And so for me, at that moment, I said, okay, wait a minute. What happens to women is seen as they're the victim.
Right.
What happens to us, it is a sign of victory. And so when I heard that anything that happened to me that was wrong, that polluted me, that robbed me of my innocence, I felt at that moment I could no longer be vulnerable. I had to treat it as some kind of trophy. So then I started mistreating women because of never being vulnerable
That's so
about what
crazy,
happened.
dude.
So I was womanizing. I was treating women wrong. I'd seen them as objects.
Yeah.
And so when God actually brought my wife to me, I saw somebody, and at first I thought, okay, it's just going to be another relationship. I get to meet somebody, we get involved, whatever.
Oh no.
No. And she didn't allow me. Her God through her literally created boundaries for me to have to not only respect her, but unearth me in the
Yeah.
process to be worthy of her. And when I say like dating her and leading up to marrying her, bringing out all the beastly things in me, I thought it would make her
All
run.
the toxic things.
All the toxic
That's just all I'm
things,
thinking
bro.
about, bro. Like the beast was actually toxic in the movie.
I thought
That's
she
wild.
would run, bro. Cause I'm like, I got a lot of skeletons in this closet.
Yeah.
I got a lot of things I'm ashamed of that I know are wrong after hearing the word of the Lord. Even though where I came from, it was seen as like, oh, you that dude. I thought that if I showed her my beast, she would run.
Yeah.
And she didn't. And I have to also,
She really Belle.
she really is Belle. She's beautiful for real too. Hallelujah. But what really touches my heart, Angel, if I'm honest, is I also have to apologize to the women leading up to her because I wasn't even willing to show them the beast. Some of them probably would have at least led me on a brighter path to get into Karina.
Yeah.
But I didn't even give them the chance because the beast was safe for me. It was safe for me to be this way because I didn't get hurt when I was the beast. I didn't get overlooked when I was beast. I never got treated wrong when I was the beast. And so when I was at a place where I was cornered with myself and all my foolishness and all my mess, and Karina literally allowed me the space to be a beast and didn't run, that saved me. That saved me. And so now I'm telling every man, find you a Belle and find you a brother that you can release, like show the beast. These people won't run from you and will help you divorce this beast because you don't need it. That's your sinful nature. That's your flesh.
Yeah.
You don't even need that. Like your life could be so much better without the beast intact to it. So, dude,
Man.
yeah, man.
I'm gonna be watching that movie a whole different
Bro,
way now.
it's gonna change you. You're gonna be like, she really didn't run like that. Like she really, looking at this
crazy.
dude and loved him and loved the beast out of him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch it again because I forgot that. Like, it's really about like what she did. It's
Yeah.
the power of love. It's the power of vulnerability.
So yeah, man, I'm never gonna see that movie the same again. Beauty and the Beast is basically about a man that's toxic,
Yeah,
and he's a beast
Yeah.
from all the toxic that he's been through or
100%.
received, and this woman Belle
yeah.
helps him heal from it.
Heal from it, man.
You know, and that Belle can be. It doesn't have to be in a relationship. It could be a therapist.
Yeah,
It can be a brother.
there you go.
You know what I'm saying? It could be your friend. It
Yeah.
could be. Hey, it could be a dog.
For real.
Just don't be abusive to the dog, please.
For sure, for
You know,
sure.
to
Or
help
anyone for that matter.
Or anyone for
Listen,
that matter.
in no way, shape, or form were we ever saying releasing the beast in front of Belle is to be abusive, verbally, emotionally, physically, sexually, emotionally. None of that. So if you're in a place where someone is releasing something that is beyond toxic, that is causing scars, whether it be emotional scars, physical scars, mental scars, emotional scars, you got to get out of there.
Yeah, because let's be real. You will encounter people that are toxic,
Yeah.
but if they're not vulnerable, that means they're not willing to heal from that toxicity.
100%.
And when the moment somebody that's toxic is able to be vulnerable, then you know that's probably a beast that you can help heal.
Yeah.
But don't make it your job or your
Right.
priority. Okay.
I
Get out
hope you
of there.
find it, but I will not be here when you
Yeah,
find
yeah,
it.
exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for being on the show, bro. I love you.
Bro, love you, man. Thank you for allowing me the space to be the first person. I think that's such a humbling moment for me. And I just pray a blessing over this, that you have no idea how many brothers are going to be blessed by this. And I pray that this goes as far as God wants to take it. Because I know you. You are such a behind the scenes, don't want to be on camera,
Yeah, I recorded,
not
I'm
speaking
done.
kind of person. Yeah. But God is calling you, dude. You have a voice. And I think this is a season where the ones that have been hidden are going to be promoted.
You're not
to
the
speak
first
to.
one saying that.
Yeah.
People keep saying that, and it's like, hey, Angel, you're not gonna be the last anymore. You're gonna be the first. I'm like, no, I like being back there.
That's why. That's why he can trust you with it. Because there's so many people that want, I know we're supposed to be closing, but there's so many people that want to be in front of the lights. God always shoot, like Moses didn't want to do what he was doing, but God could trust him because he didn't want to do it.
Dude,
I'm an
had
introvert.
A whole conversation about Moses, me and my wife, not too long.
Yeah,
yesterday,
man.
I think. Yeah,
Yeah, like you are called for this, dude. And I think just your ability, why would God use someone who can look at a scene from different perspectives and not speak for it? Like God has equipped you. You've been looking from different parts of the room for so many years that you can give a better explanation and give better verbiage than someone who's just only going to look from the light perspective.
it's true.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it.
Yeah,
but
dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in. I hope this somebody helped whoever's watching on the other side. We love y'all. Stay tuned for the next ones. Peace.